Hey, welcome back to the channel that teaches you the highest return on investment skill that you can have in the online education business space, which is how to teach. If we can't deliver effective teaching that gets us really excellent, exceptional, standalone quality client results, we're not going to have testimonials from clients. We're not going to have happy clients. We're not going to have repeat buyers. We're not going to have referrals. We're really not going to have a lot of clients in our ecosystem. Therefore, we're not going to have much of a business. So it is absolutely crucial that we know how to teach and deliver transformations, which brings me to our video topic of the day. In the teaching world, there was this phrase that was passed around a lot, and it goes, those who can't do, teach. As if teaching is this catch-all, this dumping ground for all of these people who fail at doing. They tried something, they failed it, they couldn't do it, so just go be a teacher, it's fine. You tried to be this long jumper and you didn't get into the Olympics, go teach, go teach the long jump. You tried to get into the NFL, you didn't make it, so now you go teach high school football. Like, just go teach. If teaching were so easy, there wouldn't be a teaching shortage, but you wouldn't have a struggling business, or you would be wildly profitable because teaching is just so easy. It comes so naturally. So excuse my professionalism here for just a moment. Whoever came up with that phrase is a complete idiot and has never had to teach anything a day in their life. They've never been a teacher. They've never had an online teaching business. They've never had to teach anything. They've only been a doer. So let's unpack that phrase. This entire video is going to be about that and really analyzing whether it has any credence or not. It's completely false on its face, but there's an element of it that uncovers something really important in the industry that we're in, and that is just because you can do something doesn't mean that you naturally have the ability to teach it. So you came into the online business area and you created your online business and established it not because you failed at something and said, you know what, I couldn't do it, so I'm going to go teach it because I failed at it, so I'm going to do it. No, you did something, and that's why you said, I'm going to multiply these skills that I have and teach everyone else, whoever is interested in learning from me. I'm going to go out and teach them because I did it, and I want to share with them what I know. You might have found that it is very hard to transfer that skill set to other people, to teach them the steps that you took to be successful or the steps that you took to achieve whatever your goals are. So you didn't come into this accidentally as a failure. You came into it as a success story, and now you're looking to teach others. I know this because I have a master's degree in the science of teaching, all of the mechanisms behind how people learn and how to teach effectively, and then I have 12 years of experience in practicing the art of teaching, and I love seeing other people's light bulbs when they get it, and they understand all of these practices and systems that I have honed over the years to practice the science of teaching. It is an entire skill set that whoever coined this phrase has absolutely no idea. So let's step away from the online business world for a minute and let's get some examples from a completely different world. One that has salaried professionals making millions of dollars, both doers and teachers. They are coveted, they are fought after, they are on payrolls making millions of dollars a year. Of course, I'm talking about the professional sports industry. So let's take a look at, here's a great example. Let's look at Bill Belichick for a moment. So he was the head coach of the New England Patriots. He was one of the best NFL football coaches of all time. He is reported to have made an estimated $200 million teaching in the NFL. Did you know that he never played a day of the NFL football? Never. He was never on an NFL team a single day in his life. So he's an example of someone who was not a doer, but he taught. So he has, let me read some statistics for you from Bill Belichick, amazing teacher. He was a 6-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time NFL Football Coach of the Year, and he holds second place to the most overall wins in NFL history. The first place going to Don Shula. Don Shula has the record for holding the perfect season for the Miami Dolphins in 1972. No one has beat his record, and Don Shula did actually play some NFL football, but he is known for being just a giant, the best NFL coach ever. So would you say that Don Shula failed at doing, therefore he taught? Because Bill Belichick never did at all. He was only a teacher and made $200 million teaching only in the NFL. So that one's interesting. The next one, you might say, okay, well, he was a teacher. How about a doer? Let's look at some doers. I got a good doer for you. So one doer would be Michael Jordan. He is arguably one of the best NBA players of all time. He played for 15 seasons in the NBA. He won about 70% of the games that he played in. He won 3 final MVPs, 6 scoring titles. He was as close to perfecting the sport as anyone could get. So surely he went on to coach professional basketball, obviously, right? No. He went on to sell underwear. He was famous for selling underwear ads. He was certainly a doer, but the next logical progression for him was not teaching, all to show that it is not easy to transfer your expert knowledge in something to someone else, to have someone else go be the next great NBA player. He was into brand ambassadorships and partnership collaboration with all kinds of other companies besides underwear. Here's another doer, Peyton Manning. So Peyton Manning was one of the NFL's highest ranking quarterbacks of all time. He played in 17 seasons for the Colts and the Broncos. He threw 71,940 yards. He had 539 touchdowns. He was selected to play 14 Pro Bowls. He was amazing, right? For sure. Now that guy went on to teach other people how to be all-star quarterbacks, no doubt. No, you're wrong again. He went on to go bake chocolate chip cookies. So teaching is not the logical next step. Just because you are amazing at what you do and you have an unbelievable skill set does not mean you can go and teach others. I'm obviously using hyperbole here to illustrate the fact that these people did not go on to teach something. Just because they can do it and they do an amazing job does not mean that they teach it. They have done many other wonderful things in their post-professional careers, but none of them including teaching their skills to others, which you would think that it would. They're the best it gets. Why wouldn't they go coach a team? It should just be second nature to them because they know the in and outs of the sport. Why is it? Why is it that these people who are just the best of what they do don't go on to teach it? Well, it turns out, as you probably know, that teaching is not the absence of ability. Teaching is the ability to replicate ability. So it's a skill that's not so common. You know that it takes a great amount of skill to teach others what you're doing. Doing something well helps one person succeed, but mastering the art and science of teaching multiplies that skill set to others so that they can understand what you're doing, practice it themselves, implementation. We're talking about transformation here, right? So teaching requires a completely different skill set. We need to diagnose misunderstandings. Where did they not get it? Where did they fall off? How can I explain this better? How could I explain it differently? Obviously, my example isn't landing. So you know exactly what parts your clients struggle with. Sequencing information. This has to go with the teaching and learning sciences, how to scaffold things and chunk your information, how to not overwhelm them. Next one is anticipating mistakes. If you are a professional in what's called pedagogical teaching, meaning I know exactly what to teach it, I've taught this for many, many years. You know what examples work, what examples don't work. You know the ins and outs of teaching every specific lesson that you have. Not your entire broad niche, but this one specific piece of the puzzle that you need them to understand to fulfill the entire transformation that you're selling and marketing. The next one is designing deliberate practice. So this has to do with, here is a task that we need to do, and this is a appropriately fitting assignment that I'm assigning for this thing. This is not going to work for my next lesson. This is going to work for this lesson. And here's the reason why. All of these are skill sets that teachers have that have them mastering the skill of teaching, again, which is not common and which is not natural. You actually have to work at it. It is a science that's studied, and then it's an art of practicing the science at hand. So most people struggle to teach. They don't have lack of experience. I've just demonstrated all of these people that have amazing experience. They might have a lack of teaching skills because they have been focusing all of this time on their craft, on being an amazing quarterback and being Michael Jordan with all of these great accolades. They focused on that. They haven't focused on teaching. Teaching is an entirely separate skill set. So if they wanted to go into teaching and coaching, they would need to learn those skill sets, just like they learned for the doing part. The teaching part has an entirely separate set of skills that you're getting someone else to do something. That's the part of the transformation. So we know that doing and teaching are very different skills. This is why so many online businesses, they're so full of information. They think that if I'm going to charge a high ticket amount, I need to give them more information. They have to have 49 modules, and I need to be available every day of the week in case they have a question that pops up. Well, we're going to get into this on a whole separate video, but you don't know something that you don't know. So if you're coming into something learning it, you don't know it enough to ask questions. You have to have some level of understanding from which to ask questions. This is, again, completely separate idea, completely separate video topic that I'm going to discuss with you, but they're just information-full. They're kind of blank slates. They're not deliberate, intentional, guided learning journeys, which is so the problem that we're seeing in the online education industry is that so many business owners are saying, my clients aren't finishing. Well, if they're not finishing and we have low completion rates, then they're not implementing. If they're not completing it, then they're not learning what they need to do to implement it. If they're not implementing it, they're not getting results. They're not coming back to buy from you. They're not going to give you a testimonial. They're not going to refer other clients to you. So this leaves the marketer or the business owner to say, well, the clients just don't have motivation. Let me tell you something. When I was teaching a class full of teenagers, I had 180 teenagers I taught every single day. Do you think all of them were motivated? No, it was my job as a teacher to get them to the learning outcome at the end that I was hired to get them to do. I have plenty of tactics in place to help unmotivated people to get to the end. And let me give you a little piece of advice. They're motivated because they paid you. The students in my class didn't want to be there. They didn't pay me. They didn't sign up for my class. They didn't want to be there. I had to get them to the end of the learning journey in order to keep my job as a teacher. So I've got plenty of strategies to help with the whole motivation mindset thing. The next logical thing that they think they need to fix is their marketing. Well, I need to sign up for this guy's class about ads. That's it. I definitely need more ads, and I'm going to have higher revenue in my business. Ads, marketing, all of these funnels and hypes, they're not going to fix a teaching problem. You could have all of the traffic in the world, and they might buy some of your low-ticket products. But if they're not escalating through your ecosystem and ascending through your product suite or getting into some of your higher-ticket products, they didn't get the result that they wanted from the low ticket option. If the low ticket thing did not show that you're a phenomenal teacher, they're not going to buy from you again. So all of these are characteristic problems of a teaching needing to learn some teaching skills. So people who can teach, they build businesses where clients finish. They have repeatable results. This is the science part of it, where we have processes and procedures that have repeatable results, and then we analyze those results to optimize it in the future. So what I teach in my intensive is building feedback loops, both for the students to optimize their learning journey and so that they can understand what they need to tweak and do better, and then for me to improve my teaching skills. All of that I go through inside the intensive. So if you are frustrated because you know your work is valuable, but your clients are not getting the results that they came to you for, it doesn't mean that you're bad at what you do. It means that no one ever taught you how to teach, which makes sense because you were so focused on doing the thing that brought you into the coaching online business world. So if you would like to learn more about how to build authority and reputation and scale your business through authentic client results where they get the outcome that you marketed and they're so happy and pleased with the transformation that you provided, learn more in the link below on how to work with me in my transformational teaching intensive, where we design an entire transformational learning journey for your clients so that they get these results that you are marketing. Subscribe to learn more transformational teaching tips from me, and I'll see you in the next video.